Hello, and welcome to another episode of Typically Terrible Teenage Poets Corner. Now, first of all, I want to reach out to all of our viewers, especially to those who have posted things to our website. First of all, I want to thank one specific viewer, Laya in Silver Spring, Maryland. Thank you so much for your video submission. You know, it's not often that someone finds old and undiscovered work by the terribly typical teenage poet. So I thought that I would pull out some unpublished works from that time period and share them with all of you. This first one comes from the same time period as the poem that was submitted on our website, sonnet number 3, also on 5 February 1991. How can I justify these thoughts of you that only lower that which I desire? Behind your eyes there burns a buried fire that I cannot be sure is false or true. Uncertainty, 'tis sure, sustains these thoughts. Should it be wrong to see you somehow vile, and nothing more than normal rank and file? Upon my heart I find these blackened spots. Although these thoughts I sometimes entertain, heart will never believe that head is right. Love strong, too strong, from me to you remains, forever as it lasts, 'tis in my sight. Good night, sweet princess, as you off to bed, keep visions of my love within your head. And now, from the same time period, 10 February 1991, I think it's good to note that the sonnet writing career of the terribly typical teenage poet only lasted about 7 days, from 5 February 1991 through 12 February 1991. And some say that's a good thing, but I'll leave it up to you, fair viewer. But this is a freeform piece from the same time period, 10 February 1991, titled Loveliness in Loneliness. For months, nay, it seems longer, but yes, for months my mind hath dallied of thoughts of heart and death, and that has made me all the blinder to the beauty of love that will ceaseless allow one to cherish and never perish the unbelievable constancy of the loveliness of nature. While I wander, my heart weary and sick, I cease to notice the comfort of the beauty that could my heart support. But I, a hopeless romantic, never notice enough to attempt to see beyond the prison of my loneliness to the certain bliss that surrounds me, and can ever keep my weakened self in accord. And now moving on to the following month, 15 March 1991. A slight change in the themes that the terribly typical teenage poet is considering: the sunbeams and the sapphire. I pray now for you, though my faith has faltered. You have been a magnifying glass over my soul, like paper, smoldering slowly what I thought pure, more a mirror for all imagined offense I felt. Shot back to blacken that seen as light. Only love for its own sake can be a sunbeam from a sapphire sky. The cool crystal light of a million sparkling eyes watches over me tonight, no more blinded by reflection or magnification. All shall be forgiven and forgotten, and with time we will find the way to listen to the sunbeams and the sapphire. And now we move on. To April 1991. Simply titled Untitled in April. Inconsistency struck a chord that echoes through the caverns of thought. Reverberations stretch through life. Confusion clears when cut by a knife. What we have and what we cannot. Must life be eternally explored? Paradox of speech, thought, and action. Must everything have its place? A hook, a file, a drawer. Too much defies expectations of order. Explanations found only in the eyes and face. Accepting ambiguous love, the order of every captain. Now, I just want to point out here that you can tell that the terribly typical teenage poet is starting to explore themes of existentialism by the fact that he decided he no longer needed to record which day in April he wrote this poem. It was just simply April 1991. And now for an added bonus, we went forward one year to 1992 to see how our terribly typical teenage poet had been developing. This is from 1992, entitled, Who is to Say Enough is Enough? No one dreams enough with me, not big, not wide, never deep enough to grab hold of the heart. All but, why not, live in poverty, stay awake with me, believe in a saving grace, create and love with wonder, times to escape our waning, and moments spent, unspent, curled up, clenching jaws, resisting a norm I have never known and will never grasp. No mind can justify but the leap of faith made. Days pass until death, traipsing past in anonymity. And to wrap up today's episode, I thought it fitting that we come back to the sonnet as a form. And by 1992, our terribly typical teenage poet had decided to take the sonnet and apparently place it inside of a play, and then to completely disregard all forms of the sonnet and just write a free-form poem that he called a sonnet. And so it starts with stage direction, soliloquy, sonnet number 1 of 14. Perhaps a bit ambitious. Exeunt, Mary and Kyle enter Terence alone. Terence. Not that the millions do not contemplate their lost existence as much as I do on these vacant nights, scarce strong enough to pressure me to sleep. I can reap recognition in this ill-set world, for those who have the masses' ear may rape the minds of underprivileged artists, claiming their newfound imagination, forced to prostitute the gifts I have, and love the boots of those above. Do you blame me, memory of thought, outset, projected by my mind, upon the inside of my skull, scarce strong enough to pressure me to sleep? I cannot claim to have preeminent thought thereupon, but if the hours spent reflect some specialty within this such distracted heart, I could then claim ability to match the dying and dead great, of which I often read, and from whom I am forced to veer to gain anything. When I refuse, who'll be the first to earn his stomach full, and to enjoy the ethic-blinding light of fame's cruel beam? Lockhart. Exit Terrence. And then there's an additional stage direction of some sort. She referred to the nickname she alone was allowed to use that was a result of his protruding ears and freckled nose. He hated it, but usually said nothing. He grunted. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up for today, and thank you for joining us on another episode of the terribly typical Teenage Poet Corner. It's really been my pleasure to share all of this tragically awful poetry with you. Take care and namaste.